Same day, 4 games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and here we are on a Sunday afternoon. It could be a Sunday evening where you are watching our coverage. Getting set for the matchup between the Pacific Southwest champions and the North State Washington champions. It is Moses Lake taking on Tucson, Arizona pro hammer high body Robert Williamson, along with James Crenshaw at the helm of what you see video-wise and the graphics and the replays, and of course our camera crew, all provided by iFiber. Thank you very much to Heather and all the folks there at iFiber for making it possible that you get to watch the game wherever you may be watching from. Whether it's on JockJive.com, the Freddie World Series 2017.com, the Babe Ruth Facebook page, whether it's on iFiber or Northland Cable. Welcome. Stepping in to lead things off, it'll be DeMarco Vasquez, as the Tucson squad is the home team in this one, and Moses Lake will make that Tucson is the visiting squad, and Moses Lake will be the home team. Peter Asphalt getting his final warm-up tosses in. There you get a good look at the Moses Lake pitcher, who will toss to these 10 during the course of this game. Shortstop DeMarco Vasquez leading things off for Tucson. Wrigley McGuire is the left fielder batting second. Keegan Graff behind the plate, but when they are at the plate, he'll be hitting third. Adrian Madero is the EP batting fourth. John Dormanen playing right field batting fifth. Danny Perez is the first baseman in that sixth spot. Sean Fanning playing center field will hit seventh. Brandon Ortiz is the second baseman in the eighth spot. Mark Islas playing third and batting ninth. Addison Ryberg is the pitcher, and he will bat 10th for Tucson. DeMarco Vasquez steps in to begin things for Tucson, Arizona, and there is the swing and a miss to begin the ball game. We already mentioned the fact that Peter Asphalt is on the hill for Moses Lake. Rest of the lineup, Josh Jesse behind the plate. And first you'll find Dax Lindgren. The second baseman is Emmett Tatum. Shortstop, Cody Alvarado, and third, Dominic Signorelli. In the outfield, Dalton Kittner is in left. Center field belongs to Evan McClain. Right field, Josh Williams. And you are all set up as it's fouled out of play and turns the count 1-2 on Vasquez. Both teams have played and both teams have lost. It was the Pacific Southwest champions, Tucson, losing to Blue Lick, Kentucky by a final of 12-4 yesterday. Meanwhile, Moses Lake played Mid-County, Texas close until you got to the end of the game. And in the latter stages of the contest, Mid-County, Texas comes away with a 4-2 win. So a couple of teams that when they played in that opening game, you're like, hey, if you win or lose, of course you want to win it, but if you lose it, it's not that big of a deal. You're still playing in bracket play on Thursday if you win from here on out. That's not quite the case potentially here. So some pressure put on both teams to win this one as the count is even at 2 on Vasquez. Asphalt, who got some time on the bump in the opening game of the World Series, getting the start here, and Vasquez will start things off for Pro Hammer with a single into center field. And the base runner on for Vasquez and company, and as Wrigley McGuire comes to the plate. It is warm here in Ephrata, Washington, but not as warm as was previously predicted. Around Wednesday or Thursday, we were looking at temperatures for the week, and it was supposed to be 102 or better throughout the 10 days of the World Series. It's 95 now, and that is the expected high today, so not quite as warm. And of course, that combination of haze, smoke, and then some sunshine kind of not wreaking havoc with things weather-wise, but it changes the weather environment. There are points where the haze seems to take over, sent into right field by McGuire. And very quickly, with a couple of back-to-back singles, Tucson, Arizona's in business with a couple of base runners on. And Keegan Graff coming to the plate with Vasquez at second, McGuire the base runner over at first. But again, it is not smoke and haze that's creating problems where visibility is such that you can't see to play the game. And right now it is brighter than it has been during the course of the day, but it's kind of that in and out thing where you've got sunshine like now, and then you might have it so hazy that it almost feels cloudy. Graff with a couple of base runners aboard. Asphalt giving up singles to Vasquez and McGuire. Pitch winds up in the dirt. Runners take off. They both will advance. Vasquez landing at third, McGuire at second. And the Asphalt pitch into the dirt, trying to get over to block it, was Jesse. Did keep it in front of him, but bounced far enough away to get Vasquez to third. And McGuire, meanwhile, will replace Vasquez at second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Out of the strike zone, and the count 2-0. Really haven't been any routes in the World Series. No games that have wrapped up early. You've got a mercy rule that could be implemented after 4, but there's been no need to implement a mercy rule because nobody's been 10 or better after 4. Largest victory was the win Blue Lick, Kentucky over Tucson, Arizona in 12-4, but a lot of those runs came late for the Ohio Valley champs. And now Keegan Graff will trot down to talk with his coach. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. And we've seen, as a matter of fact, in the World Series, the result of not being on the same page. Had a game yesterday where there's a base runner at third. He's anticipating the sacrifice bunt. Batter doesn't lay down the bunt. Runner takes off from third. He's caught in no man's land. High fly ball towards left field, going back. Kittner, he'll get to the warning track, make the catch. Vasquez will tag, go home, tagging and going to second. Well, apparently, okay, yeah, fooled me almost for a moment. You had Graff at second, and I'm thinking, hey, did I miss something out in left field? Did Kittner drop the ball and I didn't see it? But now Graff will indeed go back to the dugout, and he has sacrificed in Vasquez. One away, Vasquez will score. McGuire tags and goes to third. Adrian Madero coming to the plate, fouls off the first pitch. John Dormanen moves to the on-deck circle. Both teams decked out in a dark blue. Got some aqua splashed in for the River Dogs of Moses Lake. And then kind of a camo look on the shoulders of the jersey for Pro Hammer. 0-1 pitch. Rolled towards short. Alvarado will look back the runner, go over to first. He'll get Madero on the 6-3. And there's 2 gone for John Dormanen, with McGuire still the base runner at third. I thought that McGuire might go on the shot to short. Alvarado, though, assures that he does not. And there are 2 gone for John Dormanen. Ephrata, the host of the World Series for the 3rd time in 4 years, right back to Asphalt. He will send it over to first, get Dorman on the 1-3 put out. Base runner left aboard. 1 will come in. And we head to the bottom part of the first. It is Tucson, Arizona, plating the first run of the contest. Vasquez coming in on the Keegan Graff sac fly. Bottom of the first coming up right at 60 seconds from now.
Since 1969, DK's Drive-In has been Ephrata's favorite spot for burgers, fries, sweet treats, and everything else in between. We are proud to continue the DK's tradition of serving our community with delicious food made to order. Come on in or swing through the drive-thru and see why DK's has been a staple of Ephrata for generations. DK's Drive-In at 805 Basin Street Northwest in Ephrata.
Lakeview Golf and Country Club. They're looking for new members, and now's the time to join. There's no initiation fee, and it's $175 a month. A great course, great people, and a professional that has instruction available. His name? Matt Campbell. Along with a good junior program, driving range and restaurant are available to the public. Come and try the good food with Amy Galloway and her staff, open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Great course, great people at the Lakeview Golf and
Peter Asphalt with a 14-pitch top part of the first gives up a run. And Pro Hammer taking a 1-0 advantage into the bottom part of the inning. Emmett Tatum, second baseman, will start things off for Moses Lake. As you take a look inside the Tucson dugout, getting ready to play defense. Cody Alvarado is the shortstop, batting in the 2 spot. Dominic Signorelli will play third and bat third. Evan McLean is the center fielder, batting fourth. Caleb Morez, the EP's got the 5 spot. Josh Jesse playing behind the plate, hitting 6th. Josh Williams is the right fielder in the 7th spot. Dax Lindgren at first, hits 8th. It is Dalton Kittner who is the left fielder, batting 9th. And Peter Asphalt, the pitcher, will bring up the rear for this Moses Lake squad. All facing Addison Ryberg, who is on the hill for Tucson, Arizona. Rest of the defense behind the plate, Keegan Graff at first, Danny Perez. Second baseman Brandon Ortiz. At shortstop, DeMarco Vasquez. Third belongs to Mark Islas. And then your outfield, Wrigley McGuire is in left. The center fielder, Sean Fanning. Right field belongs to John Dorman. So there's your final conversation you saw between catcher and pitcher, Graff and Ryberg. Into the box will step Emmett Tatum, and we will get the bottom part of the first underway. 1-run plates in the top part of the inning, couple of base hits. 2 singles given up by Asphalt. They came back to back, and eventually Vasquez comes in and scores on the Graff sac fly. Then gets us to the bottom part of the first with the opening pitch into the strike zone. On your scoreboard, you see hashtag Babe Ruth WS, obviously standing for Babe Ruth World Series. There is a leadoff Tatum single to begin the Moses Lake first. So just as Vasquez got on as the leadoff hitter for Pro Hammer in the top part, bottom part, Tatum does the same. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. What the heck's that there for? Good reason. Because throughout the course of the day, there have been some spectacular plays. There have been diving catches. There's been some little flea flicker type stuff over at first. There's been grand slams as it is hit right back up the middle to Ryberg. Ryberg gave a look to second, and because third was open, a wise move by Tatum. He rounded second, saw nobody was covering third, hopped on his horse and gave it a ride, and he is at third. So despite the fact it was not laid down as a bunt, Alvarado does the same and a little better. As to third goes Tatum. One away for Dominic Signorelli in the tying run, 90 feet from the house. Evan McLean moving to the on-deck circle. Strike delivered to Signorelli. But those big plays, the home runs, the grand slam, the diving catches, it's all been captured in these little 7 to 9 to 12-second clips. As that one is wrapped foul and into an 0-2 hole goes Signorelli. And those clips, they're now viewable and accessible on Facebook and Twitter. And there's your key to the door to watch the video. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Put that in the search engine, and it's going to pull up the big plays from today. Here's a good idea, by the way. Why don't you like us on Facebook, and then that'll take care of you finding everything that we've done. Whether it's clips, whether it's scores posted, schedules posted, or more. Stays 1 and 2 on Signorelli. And as a matter of fact, coming into the game, we are 91 likes away from 10,000. Now, we're doing a World Series here in Ephrata, Washington, as well as down in Oxford, Alabama. Oxford, Alabama, they've got 6 fields, 6 announcers. Here, 1 field, 1 announcer. And I want to kick their butts in the liking us on Facebook category. And right now, as that one is delivered into the strike zone, and Signorelli is out number 2 with the K. Right now, they are in a rain delay. So there's no more baseball in Alabama today. So if we get to 10 grand, they can't claim any of it. They don't play baseball until tomorrow, so we want to hit 10,000 tonight and need 91 more likes. Hit right back to Ryberg, dropped it, recovers over to first. Denies Tatum an opportunity to come in and score. 4 go up, 3 go down, 1 left to board. And we will take a 1-zip advantage into the second and to the top part of the inning, mid part of the order for Tucson, Arizona. But you got it right. Facebook, put at Jacques Jive on Twitter, or Facebook, Jacques Jive Sports in the search engine. Like us at both locations. Follow us as well. We will thank you. Goal right now, 10,000 on Facebook.
Up with today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at iFiber.tv.
Cheryl Konos Farmers Insurance is your local one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, and farm and ranch, Cheryl and Farmers are here for you. You never know when the unexpected will happen, so be ready for anything. She'll work for you to put together a package that fits your needs no matter how big or small. She's right here in Ephrata, so you can talk to her at any time. Please stop by for a free quote at 858 Basin Street Southwest or call 509-754-2550. Good luck to all the players and teams.
Keeping up with today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at
Top of the second, Danny Perez starting things off for Tucson, Arizona. 1-run plates in the top part of the inning. Vasquez on the Keegan Graff sac fly. Tatum got on with a leadoff single, got to third, but then was stranded there as out goes Alvarado, Signorelli, and McLean. A 1-zip advantage into the second. Perez, Sean Fanning, Brandon Ortiz due up. I remember the name Danny Perez from a year ago. This guy produced big time for Tucson, Arizona 1 year ago, and he's back to trying to do it again. Leads off the inning, big cut, count evens, 1 each. The North State champs, the Pacific Southwest Regional champions. A meeting here in Ephrata, Washington. Not much of a drive for Moses Lake. That is hit towards left center field. It will get over the head of Evan McLean, travel to the warning track, and Danny Perez right on cue. We say kind things, and he delivers with a leadoff single. Third base hit of the game for Tucson. And it is the third single of the game. It has Sean Fanning coming to the plate. Perez, the base runner, on. Brandon Ortiz on deck. The game slated to go 7. Every game thus far in the World Series has gone just that. 7 innings. None have gone longer, none have gone quicker. They've all been 7. And we are now a total of 7 games in. 1 more to go on day number 2. In the event you missed scores from yesterday, Blue Lick over Tucson, Arizona, 12-4. Cape Cod beating Surrey County, North Carolina, 6-1. Mid-County, Texas, a 4-2 winner over this Moses Lake squad. Last night it was Charleston, Missouri, a 3-1 winner over Ephrata. Then you get to today's play, Mid-County, Texas, the Southwest champs, 6-1 over Vancouver, Washington. And Southwest now 2-0. Wrapped towards third, picked up there by Signorelli. And that turns into the double play. How about of the 5-4-3 variety? Two gone as Sean Fanning takes care of he and Perez. Brandon Ortiz coming to the plate, 2 away. And in Cape Cod, in the game that just wrapped up, a 5-1 winner over another squad we hadn't seen until today, Mount Olive, New Jersey. So your 2 teams that you currently have as front runners in pool play, Mid-County, Texas, 2-0, Cape Cod, 2-0 as well. Those two teams win one more game, and they are a lock to get into bracket play. They may already be there, compliments of their 2 victories. 2-0 on Brandon Ortiz. Mark Islas moving to the on-deck circle. When you get to the bottom part of the inning, Caleb Juarez and the 2 Joshes, Jesse and Williams, coming to the plate. And of course, when we get into the 3rd inning, both teams, their viewer and fan base, probably familiar that innings 3 and 4 are where we allow you shout-outs. Dropped into left field, and there's the second base hit of the inning. It's the 4th one overall, a 2-out single, has Brandon Ortiz on for Mark Islas. After giving up a total of 4 base hits, Peter Asfalm is going to get a visit from coach. Well, that will give me an opportunity to kind of prep the fact that coming up in the 3rd and 4th innings, we take your shout-outs. And there'll be a number posted right where you see 16 to 18 World Series and hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Telephone number will be 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. You don't have to remember it, however, because it will be posted in the 3rd and 4th. Of course, we're looking for shout-outs. Cheer on a team or a team member. Let us know where you are watching from. And, too, if you want to stick on there where you're watching the game, there's lots of mediums by which to do so. Do that too, whether it's Facebook, whether it's the Freddie World Series 2017.com site that you see on the backstop or right beneath on jockjive.com. Conversation over. Into the box steps Mark Islas. Onto the bump goes Asfalm. He will throw over to first. Ortiz back safely. We do all of that, those shout-outs coming up in the 3rd and 4th. I see we've already got some shout-outs coming in. That's good. Get a head start. Last game, I did not go back and see how many text messages, but I know at one point I was 67 messages behind. So I'm thinking we probably had about 125, maybe 150. In a couple of innings. Swing and a miss, and it will get away from Jesse. That will allow Ortiz to wind up at second. One ball, one strike. Islas batting. He is the 9-hitter. Addison Ryberg has moved to the on-deck circle. 2 base hits, 4 now in the game for Pro Hammer. Asfalm with the glance to the base runner. Ortiz at second delivers. It is popped up in the direction of the gap. Let's see, full drop. Stumbling, trying to get there. Evan McClain cannot. That will have Ortiz coming in to score. Tagged out, trying to turn 1 into 2 is Islas. Run counts. Islas credited with a single. That is the 5th base hit of the game. It drives in a run, but he will get tagged out at second. Well, it looked like there might be an opportunity for McClain to get there, but he stumbled a bit right there and didn't have a chance to make the diving catch. And there's the gentleman who comes in and scores. Ortiz motors home, 2-zip Arizona.
Your eyes are a window to your health. And now introducing the latest in technology for diagnosing eye disease. Ephrata Eye Care has been serving the Columbia Basin for 20 years. With a friendly professional staff, they'll help you select eyewear that is right for you. Big and wide is the way to describe the selection of leading brands of eyewear. No more dilation with the new OptoMap ultra-wide field imaging. Ephrata Eye Care. Call today for your next appointment, 754-2020. Where does everyone go after the game? Where does everybody go before the game? Where does everybody go to watch the game? 12 Hawks, right in the middle of downtown Ephrata. Big screens everywhere, great food, great selection of your favorite spirits. It's where the friends meet. I'm not going to begin to describe all the items on the menu. You'll have to stop by and see for yourself. 12 Hawks, 140 West Division in downtown Ephrata.
Tucson, Arizona planning another run in the top part of the inning as Ortiz will come in and score to make it a 2-zip advantage. 5 hits now in the contest for Pro Hammer, resulting in a total of 2 runs. We go to the bottom of the second. Caleb Juarez, Josh Jesse, Josh Williams, all facing Addison Ryberg. And there is the final warm-up toss from Ryberg before you get the throw down by Keegan Graff. And we will head to the bottom part of the second with, again, a quick reminder. Here's what's coming up in the third and fourth. Your shout-outs at 334-488-1385. By the way, let me update you on Facebook. We're 75 shy, I believe, now. Let's check that and make sure, but I think we're 75 short of 10 grand. You know, I'll give you an update momentarily. Trying to hit 10,000 tonight, and heck, I'm thinking 11 by the time we get to Saturday. Yep, we are actually a little better than 75. We're 73 away from the 10,000. Fouled off by Evan McLean as we get the bottom of the second underway. A 2-zip Arizona score, toss high from Ryberg. And the count will even up at 1 each. Well, again, as I mentioned previously, if you win, you're certainly solidifying your chances to be in bracket play. You lose and you may not be out of it. You finish 2-2 in pool play, then you're probably on the bubble. 1-3, doubtful you get in. 0-4, you're not in. It's that 2-2 that probably gets you in. But the possibility, of course, that you go into tiebreaker scenarios. So neither one of these teams particularly interested in having question marks by a 2-2 mark. The preference is 3-1. Wrapped right up the middle. Ryberg couldn't get to it. And another leadoff base hit. Tatum did it in the first. And it is McLean that gets on here in the second. Or actually, that was Juarez, by the way, that singled and got aboard. I'm working with a new score sheet. And when you're old and set in your ways and got new techniques, it's hard to get adjusted. But that was not McLean, it was Juarez with the single. And Josh Jesse, who is coming to the plate. So a base runner aboard nonetheless, as Moses Lake produces their second base hit of the ball game. Throw to first and back safely goes Juarez. Josh Williams to the on-deck circle for Pro Hammer. You got the bottom of the order when you get to the top of the third, but this is the Moses Lake squad not thinking about the top of the third yet. Fouled off, and that means that Juarez will have to make the U-turn and go back to first. .95 degrees here in Ephrata. Feels like 95. A mix of sunshine, haze, and smoke. 15% humidity. Sun sets at 8:23. South winds at 6. It says, I look at the American flag as the throw goes to first to Perez. Able to get back safely is Juarez. The American flag in left field is my indication as to what the winds are doing, and it's not doing much. So I don't know that we've got 6-mile-an-hour winds currently. 6-mile visibility, UV index of 3 on a Sunday evening here in Ephrata, Washington. Juarez getting his lead over at first. Perez holding him on. A glance by Ryberg over the shoulder to the runner. And a swing and a miss by Jesse. One ball, couple of strikes. Josh Williams is on deck. 2-zip advantage, obviously very early into the game, and that's nowhere close to an insurmountable lead. Fouled out of play. Not a bad crowd on hand. Do have a squad in Moses Lake, about 30 miles from here. And it's noticeably further to Tucson, Arizona. Big crowd last night, by the way, for the opening ceremonies. Great fireworks display after the game. Throw again down to first. Again, back safely goes Juarez. Your officiating crew for this one, Greg Chenard is behind the plate. Dennis Duke is at first. Brian Straggy at third. And an opportunity to talk to Greg prior to today's baseball. Was talking about a guy from right here in Ephrata, playing his high school ball at Johnson O'Brien, who's now umping in the big leagues. As Jesse goes down, back to first Juarez, he is safe. And there's one away for Josh Williams. Just about the same officiating crew as a year ago. As a matter of fact, I want to think all 6 may have officiated the World Series a year ago here in Ephrata. And those 6 they are using this year: Greg Chenard, Jim Burns, Dennis Duke, Brian Striggy, Ricky Bryan, Jeremy Cranston. One away, Josh Williams awaiting the 1-0 pitch from Ryberg. Not hanging around first, though, is Juarez. He will go down and get in safely underneath the tag after the throw from Graff, and a stolen base for Juarez. And again, you've got second, a little problematic. It was either earlier today or yesterday. After you do so many games, start forgetting, but we have the same situation where the slide into the bag wound up ripping the bag out of the ground. So before we can resume play, got a little work to do. Well, that'll give me an opportunity to again remind you that coming up in the 3rd and 4th, we take shout-outs. Here's kind of an agenda is what we like from you, the viewer, during the course of a broadcast. 3rd and 4th shout-outs. In the 6th inning, those new followers on Twitter. We read your Twitter handles, and of course throughout the broadcast, looking for likes on Facebook. And again, yes, there is a personal vendetta. There is some personal interest involved. We want to get to 10,000, and we want to lay claim that it was all of the Ephrata viewers who got us there. And the guys working down in Oxford, Alabama will just have to accept it since they're not working tonight. Well, the work continuing. This won't be long. We had it happen, as I mentioned, in a game earlier, and it took about 60 seconds or so, although this one looks like it's a little more problematic. And here's what happened as Juarez took off for second. And, you know, based on the slide, it might be a good thing that it did give. If it didn't give, then the ankle of Juarez might not feel particularly good. So kind of like a breakaway rim in the world of basketball. You got a breakaway bag at second. Josh Williams, one away, one aboard. Moses Lake trying to cut that lead in half here in the bottom part of the second. Dax Lindgren moving to the on-deck circle. A Sunday afternoon here in Ephrata, and in most other parts of the country, it's Sunday night. Back to the action. Juarez, the base runner, at second. One ball, couple of strikes on Josh Williams. When you get to the third, the gentleman you see on the hill, he'll be in the plate. Addison Ryberg. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Out of the strike zone, and the count evens up at 2. I don't know what it is about these squads from this part of the country, Ephrata and Moses Lake. The games have a slower pace. Just the style is such that seemingly, and maybe it's not accurate, maybe if you go back and you look at the time factor, as it is popped up by Williams to right, drops in front of John Dormanen. Going to third is Juarez, and the single has got runners on the corners. So Williams deposits it in front of Dormanen. And you've got a couple of base runners aboard and an opportunity to tie things up if both come home. Here in the bottom part of the second, Dax Lindgren coming to the plate. But as I was mentioning, where River Dogs are concerned, whether it's Ephrata or whether it's Moses Lake, it just seems to, their style of play is such to have a slower paced ball game. And obviously it has become a lengthy bottom part of the second as Lindgren steps in, takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Big thank you to all who are involved with Babe Ruth Baseball and the opportunity for us to bring you coverage, whether it be the Boroffs here in Ephrata or the home office of Babe Ruth on the other side of the country. Runner goes, late throw down, tagging out the runner, Williams. And staying at third is Juarez. That was not executed the way Moses Lake had anticipated. The goal was to get Juarez in. Williams, though, winds up a little too close to shortstop DeMarco Vasquez, who could put the tag on Williams and still have an opportunity if Juarez breaks from the plate to get Juarez. So wisely from that perspective, he stays put at third. And an inning that showed promise. Well, it's now going to require something from Dax Lindgren to get in the first run of the game for Moses Lake. 1-2 pitch. Rolled over towards Perez. He will underhand to Ryberg. Gets there ahead of the arrival of Lindgren. And the 3-1 putout will deny an opportunity for the team from Moses Lake to plate their first run of the game. Pro Hammer plated one in the first, one in the second. They will take a 2-zip lead into the top of the third. Bottom of the order coming up, Addison Ryberg, when we return to Ephrata.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back. Her 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
2017.com and catch all the live.
Bottom of the order, top of the third, Addison Ryberg will start things off for Pro Hammer. DeMarco Vasquez, Wrigley McGuire, 2 up in the inning 2. We're into the third, and for our viewer vets, you know what we're about to do. Open up the shout-out lines, 334-488-1385. What the heck we're looking for? Well, cheer on a team or a team member. Let us know where you are watching from, geographically, city, state, country. If it's a unique spot, as I mentioned previously, these days with mobile devices, iPads, iPhones, and the like, well, you're starting to run out of unique spots to watch the game. But if you think you're watching from a unique spot, include that too. There's the number, 334-488-1385, just like magic. It pops on your screen, and That's where you can send your shout-outs to, and we read them in the third and fourth. Third and fourth innings only. So get those shout-outs coming to 334-488. 1385. Addison Ryberg getting his first at-bat of the game. Wraps it towards second. Tatum will field. He's got time to get it over to first to get Ryberg on the 4-3. One away as we head back to the top of the order. Well, it looks like I've already got a backlog of shout-outs, so let's delve into them. I'd like to shout out to all the players of Mount Olive who played in the previous game, especially my nephew Zach Richardson from his Aunt Stacy, Sharon, Grandma, and Grandpa from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's go Tucson Pro Hammer. Let's go Sean Fanning from Rio Rico, Arizona community. Vasquez 1-0. DeMarco Vasquez, the shortstop, who had a single and scored a run in the first, batting here in the third with one away. Let's go Tucson Pro Hammer. Let's go Sean Fanning from Rio Rico, Arizona. Watching from, and if I mispronounce, please forgive me, Sawarita, Arizona. Go Riggs and Pro Hammer. You may want to include a pronunciation guide on some of the stuff. 2-0 on Vasquez. Wrigley McGuire is on deck, out of the strike zone again, 3-0. Also a big shout out to DeMarco, Nano, and Riggs. Killing out there, boys. Much love from Elena in Tempe, Arizona. Go Adrian Madero. We love you from Mom, Dad, and the family in Tucson. Out of the strike zone, 4 straight. Vasquez getting his second straight trip to first base. This one compliments Peter Asphalt with a walk. And there's a good look at Vasquez. Been there twice. Got there with a single in the first, the walk in the third. As Wrigley McGuire comes to the plate, Keegan Graff moving to the on-deck circle. Shout out to Jesse from his girl Jamie in Tucson, Arizona. Thank you very much, Jamie. Wrigley McGuire, part of that back-to-back singles in the first after Vasquez did. So did McGuire. And now you've got Vasquez on with one away. McGuire batting. Keegan Graff moving to the on-deck circle. In 5:41 in the Pacific time zone. Swing and a miss by McGuire. That was designed to protect the runner, and Jesse has no idea where the baseball is. Vasquez does, and heads to third as long as nobody's headed to retrieve it. Now there's the ball lying in the chalk right by McGuire. And you see Asphalt coming in saying, there it is, it's lying in the dirt. Meanwhile, turning all over the place is Jesse trying to find it and didn't see it until Vasquez got to third. You know, it looks like on a couple of occasions that Jesse looks right at it. It blended in with the chalk, and he's got the mask on, so the vision is impaired to some degree. Throw goes to third, trying to get Vasquez. He is there safely. Drop strike 3, though, has McGuire over at first. Well, this time Jesse able to pick it up, but instead of the throw down to first to try to get McGuire, went to third and tried to get the lead runner. And instead, everybody is safe with runners on the corners, and Peter Asphalt getting a visit. And really, I don't know that you can place a lot of blame on Asphalt. He did walk Vasquez, but the fact that Vasquez is at third and that McGuire is at first, really not Asphalt's fault, but Asphalt's coming out nonetheless. Coach saying just need a change of scenery to try to get this Moses Lake squad back on track. Certainly nothing insurmountable, though. Just down by 2. Back with a new pitcher after the break.
Sure, Trustology is about sharing our financial expertise and helping our clients succeed. But it's also about helping local families enjoy a more festive holiday season, making sure parents have the supplies they need, and giving local charities everything they can grab in 90 seconds. It's employees who have a passion for serving their neighbors and the communities they live in. When you see Washington Trust's crew in blue doing their thing, that's Trustology in action. See more at Trustology.
Conversation between pro hammers, while on the bump is a new pitcher, A.J. Proneda, coming in for the gentleman Peter Asfalm, who worked 2 1/3, faced 12, struck out 1 walk, 4 hits given up. And Proneda now trying to spark this Moses Lake squad that looks a little addled here in the 3rd. But of course, again, 1 inning a win or ball game doesn't make, and we have seen several times where one team seemed to have momentum, the other team seemed to be literally falling apart, and they were able to turn things around in a given inning. So Proneda is called upon to try to do that for his Moses Lake squad, as a couple of base runners are on. Let's get to a few more shout outs. Number 8, Adrian Madero, looking good, cuz, from Kaylee, watching from Tucson. Shout out to Michael Gabby and Milo, looking good in the stands. Go Adrian Madero, number 8, Tucson, Arizona. Shout out Jesse Carmona, much love from Tucson. Shout out to DeMarco Vasquez. Show them what you got. Love girlfriend Elena from Tempe, Arizona. Shout out to Jesse Carmona, number 10. Let's go Pro Hammer. Go Keegan Graff and Tucson Pro Hammer from Cumberland, Wisconsin. Hey, I think that's a first. I don't believe we've heard from Wisconsin until now. We love you, Brad. From Ashley Thomas and Jules in Tucson, Arizona. Go Pro Hammer. Tucson from Deb and Jackson. Jackson Rounds pitcher last year, now proudly at U.S. Navy boot camp. Let's go Brandon Ortiz, the family watching from Tucson, Arizona. Sending Wrigley and DeMarco best of luck. We love you. The Hammonds from Green Valley, Arizona. 0-1 on Keegan Graff. Couple of base runners aboard on the corners. A.J. Proneda travels in, throw comes home, gets the out of the tag out of Vasquez. And the squeeze turns into an out. Graff wrapping into the 1-2 put out that gets the lead runner. And there's 2 down as McGuire goes to second. Graff, the base runner, at first. A.J. Proneda facing Adrian Madero. And you got to believe if you were Moses Lake, it's going to be somewhat of a booster if you can get out of the top part of the 3rd with no damage done scoring-wise and no additional runs are put on the board by the Pro Hammers after feeling like you've become a little bit discombobulated. Foul back in the count, even at 1 on Madera. He wrapped into the 6-3 in the 1st. Was the middle out of the inning. John Dormanen moving to the on-deck circle. When you get to the bottom parts of the inning, 9-10-1, spots 2 up. Out of the strike zone to run the count 2-1. Lisa Davies from Columbus, Ohio, looking great, says the shout out. Here is the 2-1 offering, Madero. Pineda with a glance to base runners. You've got 2 on. Into the strike zone, and the count evens 2 each. Good luck, Jesse Carmona. Love you, Mom, from Tucson, Arizona. Shout out to Brandon Ortiz. Ooh, yeah. Cheering from Tucson, Arizona. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on in a 2-zip game. Runners advance. Throw winds up in left field. Hopping up, headed towards the house. McGuire. Meanwhile, the fake throw has got to home plate. has got Graff scampering back to second, and he will get there ahead of a possible tag from Tatum. And we will see if that will be charged as an error on catcher Josh Jesse. It hasn't appeared on the scoreboard yet. Now a 3-zip lead. Pro Hammer plating runs every inning, doing it by ones. As this one is lifted over into foul territory by Madero, he will come back and await a 3-2 offering once more. Three balls, couple of strikes. One base runner on. That is Graff at second. Madero, who hit into the 6-3, was the middle out in the first inning, trying to avoid being the last out in the third and give John Dorman an opportunity. And there is a walk issued by Praneta. Second walk of the inning. The first one was given to Vasquez. It was issued by Asfalm, who worked those 2 and a third innings and only gave up one walk. It was to Vasquez. By the way, obviously pitching less than 45 tosses, they can use Asfalm again. Pitching regulations saying that if you throw 1 to 45, you don't have to have a rest. 46 to 75 pitches gets you a day off. More than 76 tosses gets you a couple of days off. And those are indeed mandatory. Count even, one apiece on John Dorman, and Dorman wrapped into the 1-3 in the first. Danny Perez moving to the on-deck circle. Arizona building a 3-zip lead here in the top of the third. 1-1 offering from Perneda in relief of Asfalm. Out of the strike zone. Shout out to Keegan Graff from Dad and Mom in Benson, Arizona. Conversation between Jesse and his pitcher. Back behind the plate goes Jesse onto the heel of Praneta. Into the box, Dorman. And with his lead still at second is Graff, at first Madero. Into the strike zone to even the count, 2 each.
Go 2-1, right here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 gone, 2 on. Number 2, Dorman in batting, and he fouls it out of play. Major League Baseball, Dodgers with a 3-zip lead over the Mets. That's at the end of 2. And everything else is final in the majors. Yankees beat the Indians 8-1. Cards over the Reds 13-4. Rays nipped the Brewers 2-1. A lot of one-run games today, by the way. Orioles 12-3 over the Tigers. Red Sox doubling up on the White Sox 6-3. Marlins beat the Braves 4-1. And here come all the one-run games. Pirates over the Padres 5-4. Twins over the Rangers 6-5. Astros beating the Blue Jays 7-6. Mariners the Royals 8-7. Nationals beat the Cubbies 9-4. Phillies nipped the Rockies 3-2. Athletics 11-10, outlasting the Angels. Giants with a 6-3 lead over the win over the Diamondbacks, and the Royals beat the Mariners 9-1. Dorman slaps the 2-2 into right field. Let's see if that will play Graff. Takes the big turn at third. Hey, won't play Graff. How about a throw out at first? That's the second time we've seen that in the World Series. Williams will retrieve it quickly, get Dorman on one of those not so unusual anymore 9-3 putouts. Couple of base runners left on, but Tucson, Arizona has done it again. They plate a run and now lead it by 3 as we head to the bottom of the third. Moses Lake coming up when we return to Ephrata.
Ephrata is strategically located in the center of Washington State. The Port of Ephrata can meet your intermodal transportation and supply chain needs via road, rail, or air. Our most recently available property are 2 buildings that combine for 100,000 square feet of high bay heavy manufacturing space with multiple bridge cranes installed. When the workday is over, take advantage of the plentiful recreation opportunities in the area. Bring your business back to Center in Ephrata, a center for commerce, a center for opportunity, and a centered life.
For more than 50 years, Tomer Construction has been helping build the Pacific Northwest. We've led successful projects throughout the area involving portable rock crushing, road construction, land clearing, land leveling, bridge construction, and structural concrete. We also offer fill material, sand, and gravel for your everyday landscape needs. For a free quote, call today, 509-787-3312. Tomer Construction, we're ready to serve you.
Bottom of the third, Dalton Kittner will start things off for Moses Lake. We will see who is in the spot previously occupied by Peter Asfalm. It will be A.J. Praneda. So I see Praneda moving to the on-deck circle. So Praneda will bat for Asfalm. It's probably a game-changer guy, maybe writing a story or... no, he's not playing solitaire. Could be liking us on Facebook. That's what he could be doing there. I mean, you know, he got a text from back home saying, like the guys, they're trying to get to 10 grand and they're not going to shut up until they get there. So if you would indeed like us on Facebook, I'll give you an update in a moment. There's a base hit into center field. Kittner will get on to lead off the third. There has been no problem getting lead off aboard for Moses Lake. Tatum did it in the first. Juarez did it in the second. And now Kittner will do it in the third. So the problem spot for Moses Lake thus far has not been getting leadoff aboard. That's been simple. It's been getting leadoff home. And Kittner hoping that he will change the trend set by the first couple of innings as A.J. Praneda steps in. For Peter Asfalm, the pitcher, well, they didn't have an opportunity to bat. Batting in the 10 spot, got lifted in the top part of the inning, and Praneda will come in and bat in the spot that Asfalm was intended to bat in that 10 spot. Emmett Tatum moves to the on-deck circle and is fouled out of play. And the count even at 1. Shout out to Dalton Kittner, Love Mike, Tina, and Christian. Thank you very much. Shout outs in the third and fourth. 334-488-1385. It's the number on your scoreboard. And of course, after the fourth, as this one is lifted towards Dorman and in right field, that'll be a base hit. Throw goes to second, and wow, I thought it might be there in time because Kittner slowed up going to the bag. Strong throw from Dorman. And let's see if ball or player gets there first. Nope, it looks like maybe it was indeed the player that arrived first. Another angle, this one from over at third. Boy, he puts on the brakes, though. Ah, wow, that was close. That was really close. Kittner gets away with one. He slowed up a little early. Bunt laid down by Tatum. Ryberg's got nobody to throw to. Perez was coming into field. And not covering first was second baseman Ortiz. And there you see the late arrival of Ortiz. It's Ortiz's play to go over to first, but he broke late. And that loads things up. And did we mention it doesn't take much to get right back into a ball game? Bases full, nobody gone, and Cody Alvarado coming to the plate. Dominique Signorelli moves to the on-deck circle. So a leadoff single by Kittner, and then A.J. Praneda with a single. And a bunt single by Tatum. As the bases full of River Dogs for Moses Lake. Shout out says Pro Hammer fan for life. Go Keegan, Drake, Danny, Riggs, Brandon, and all the guys. Ryberg in a little different situation. He has certainly had base runners on, but not this many in the game. Bases full. Walk Alvarado, a run comes in. Hit Alvarado, a run comes in. Defense commits a mistake, a run comes in. Base hit, well, you get it. A lot of different ways in which Moses Lake could plate their first run of the game here in the bottom of the third. Count even at 1 on Alvarado. He wrapped into the 1-3. Infield in some. Not as tight as sometimes you see the infield play. Suicide squeeze, bunt and foul. Kittner was off and running with a pitch, but it is fouled off by Alvarado. So Kittner back to third. Praneda at second. And Tatum, your base runner, at first. 1 ball, couple of strikes. Well, you wouldn't think the squeeze is coming with a 2-strike count. Unless the River Dog coach is a riverboat gambler. I guess you might take a shot at it. Nope. High, even at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Alvarado awaits. Ryberg out of the strike zone, and talk about some pressure on a pitch. Count is now full at 3-2. And you've certainly got some pressure put on you if you are the Arizona pitcher, Addison Ryberg. You serve up something he could get. It might drive in runs. If you serve it out of the strike zone, it does drive in a run. There's what you want. You get it. Ryberg just reached back, delivers right down the middle, challenged him with a little heat, and Alvarado couldn't catch up with it. Boy, when he was placing the knuckles on the ball, thought we might get something of the break variety, but really that didn't have a whole lot of movement on it. Just brought it down the middle. And there's one away from Dominique Signorelli. Signorelli, a strikeout victim in the first, batting here in the third. And this is a Moses Lake squad that left a couple of base runners on in the second. They have stranded 3 through 2 innings and have the bases loaded here in the bottom part of the third. Anticipating something. Bit of a pitch out from Addison. Count even, 1 apiece. Evan McClain is on deck in the fourth for Arizona. It will be Perez, Fanning, and Ortiz coming to the plate. Got a little chess match going on between this Arizona squad and the Washington team. Shout out to Mark Islas from the Islas Angel Clan in Tucson. Go Bam Bam. Out of the strike zone, 2-1. Well, the Go Bam Bam brings to mind a cartoon from my days. I have these generational battles with our producer, James Crenshaw, who's about 25 years younger than I. There we go. He did know it was the Flintstones. And Bam Bam. Knew where I was going with it. That's lifted towards the gap. That's going to drop. That's going to drive in runs. Producing the big hit is Signorelli. Coming in to score, Kittner. Praneda will come in as well. Safely back to third goes Tatum. Alvarado with a double that makes it a 3-2 game. make that Signorelli with a double. That makes it a 3-2 contest. Just launched it to the right spot. Kittner and Praneda will come in and score. Tatum winds up at third. Signorelli now at second. And we've got a brand new ball game here in the bottom of the third. Fred Ortiz out to talk with his pitcher, Addison Ryberg, trying to settle him down a bit. Gave up the single to Kittner, gave up the single to Praneda, then the single to Tatum, struck out Alvarado. Then gives up the 2-run double to Signorelli. Ryberg is going to stay in. But chances are he's not going to stay a whole lot longer unless he gets McLean and Caleb Juarez, who will follow. One away. McLean wrapped into the 1-3 in the first. He was the last out of the inning. Caleb Juarez had a single in the second and has moved to the on-deck circle. Shout out to the entire Riverdog team, including our nephew Chase Fingar from the English family, currently camping in Lubbock, Texas. Well, thank you very much for watching the game around the campfire, I would assume. I don't know, it's what, 8:06 in Texas? That's dark enough for a campfire. Of course, it's so warm in Texas, I don't know if you want a campfire. Dominique Signorelli with a big double that drove in a couple of runs. Makes it a 1-run contest. Evan McLean count even one apiece. It has been a lengthy third. And we've spent the better part of it here in the bottom part of the inning. Game now an hour 6 old and in the third. Trying to lay down the bunt and then trying to put on the brakes is Tatum, and he will get tagged out while trying to make the spin move back to third. Signorelli saw that Tatum was in no man's land, so decided to get to third and at least have somebody 90 feet from home. There's that spin move. Trying to avoid the tag of Vasquez. Meanwhile, Signorelli able to get safely to third. There is 2 gone now. Evan McLean with a base runner at third. And there is a conversation going on with plate umpire Greg Chenard. I'm not sure what the conversation was about. It really was relatively cut and dried, I think. As Tatum had broke towards home and then got caught in the process. And while trying to get back to third, tagged out by Vasquez coming over from short. 1 ball, couple of strikes on McLean. Shout out to Keegan Graff from the Wells House, Whetstone, Arizona. P.S. Your girlfriend loves you. Well, it is always good to know. It would be tough. It would be illogical to have a girlfriend that didn't love you. I guess. I don't know. That may not be true. I don't guess we need to get into romance. We need to get back to baseball as the pitch count is now 3-2. Let's go Pro Hammer, you can do this, says the shout out. 3 balls, couple of strikes on McLean. McLean wrapped into the 1-3 in the first. Began the at-bat with a couple of base runners on. Both were in scoring position. The at-bat currently is at 3-2 with 1 base runner aboard at third. Outside with the pitch, McLean given the trip to first. It will be interesting to see if Ryberg pitches in the fourth. He's certainly struggled here in the third. Does have a total of 50 pitches. Has given up a total of 7 base hits and a couple of runs. Caleb Juarez with a single, a stolen base. That happened in the second inning. Batting here in the third, Josh Jesse moves to the on-deck circle. Pro Hammer's fourth will start with the 6th spot. Outside with a pitch. Well, let's give you an update on the Facebook likes. I think the last check we made, 73 were needed to get to 10,000. Now we need 69. I feel it. It's coming. Into the strike zone, and the count evens 1 each. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Don't forget him. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. That's where you get all the big time plays. Wrapped over towards right field. Over to make the catch is John Dorman, and out goes Juarez. 1 base runner left on. Big plays have been the order of the day, especially in this game, and that's where you'll catch them. Hashtag Babe Ruth WS. Long third inning, but productive for Moses Lake. They are within 1 as we head to the 4th on JockJive.com.
Today's Best Western is more rewarding than ever. Rewards members get our best rates every stay. And with rewards points that never expire, you get more free nights at over 4,200 hotels worldwide, gift cards, and instant rewards. Now get a $10 gift card with every night you stay. Let's go get rewarded. Book now at bestwestern.com.
Before the final touches were made, before the swing was built, before the trees were there, before the holes were dug, before any of that, a call was made so all underground lines could be marked, so the holes could be dug, the trees could be planted, the swing could be built, and the final touches made to a picture-perfect project. Dream, plan, prepare. Call 811 before you dig.
A productive bottom part of the third as a couple of runs played for Moses Lake. A 3-0 game becomes a 3-2 contest. And we head to the top of the 4th. Danny Perez starting things off for Pro Hammer. Sean Fanning, Brandon Ortiz due up in the inning 2. Tomorrow another 4-game day as pool play will continue through Wednesday. You start your baseball at 11 o'clock again tomorrow morning with the Mid-Atlantic and the Midwest Plains regional champs will meet. Then you've got the Pacific Northwest and the Pacific Southwest. That being this Tucson, Arizona squad coming back to play baseball, as well as the Vancouver team. And also tomorrow, more baseball for Moses Lake as they take on Blue Lick, Kentucky. Blue Lick got the day off today. See them again tomorrow at 5. Hit over to first by Perez. Gobbled up and taken to the bag by Lindgren. 1 out for Sean Fanning. And then your 8 o'clock game tomorrow night, Ephrata taking on Cape Cod. Pool play brings you a total of 20 games, and by the end of tomorrow, we will be 12 games in. Shout out to James and Justin Graham in Goldsboro, North Carolina. And my text says James broke his pinky yesterday. I certainly hate to hear that. I'm gonna have to go back into my scorebook and see what James Graham did for that North Carolina squad. Took on Cape Cod. Let's go Cade Schultzman from the Davies family in Ohio. I think that's our first opportunity to hear from Ohio during the coverage of the broadcast. Out of the strike zone to even the count at 2. Sean Fanning hit into the 5-4-3 double play his last at bat that came in the second inning. Brandon Ortiz moving to the on deck circle. Fouled off. It will stay 2-2. Well, there are games that hum right along. As a matter of fact, the game that Wrapped up, I think, prior to this one. We had an hour 35-minute game. Not sure if it was the one prior or maybe a couple of games back. This one, 1 hour 14 in, and we are in the fourth. There's a strikeout of Fanning, and Praneta getting his first K of the day. 2 gone. Brandon Ortiz to the plate, had a single and scored a run in the second. This Tucson, Arizona squad has plated runs every inning, first, second, and third. This is not the inning that they wanted to break that string, that stretch of runs scored, especially after the fact that Moses Lake put a couple of runs on the board in the bottom of the third to really tighten this one up. When you get to the bottom of the fourth, Josh Williams, Dax Lindgren all coming to the plate for Moses Lake. Here is the 0-1 pitch to Ortiz. Mark Isla is moving to the on-deck circle, fouled out of play, and it is 0-2. Well, there you get a look meant for the foul ball, but into the stands. And beyond, by the way, was a white tent. The white tent housing a 75-inch big screen. A cooled tent. So if you are here watching coverage and need a break from the heat, there's a spot to do it. Right in that vicinity, too. You can order DVD copies of the game. Plus, there is a tent with Babe Ruth World Series t-shirts available. All kinds of shirts. Got a litany of styles and sizes to choose from. Which, by the way, thanks so much to the Boroffs who provided James and I with our very own Babe Ruth World Series Jock Jive production t-shirt. Base hit into left field, and a 2-out single has got Brandon Ortiz on. So James says he will likely don his new Jock Jive production Babe Ruth World Series t-shirt tomorrow. Just so we don't look like the Bobsey twins, I'll probably wait until the next day then. If we both wore them on the same day, people might not be able to tell us apart. So I'll wear mine on Tuesday, and James will don his tomorrow. On the outside part of the plate to Mark Isla's base runner on. That is Ortiz over at first. A 3-2 contest here in pool play. Second day of pool play. Third game of the day. Got 1 to go. Ephrata is in the nightcap. They will take on the Southeast champions. That is the team out of Surrey, North Carolina, coming up. Let's go Cage Schultzman from the Davies family in Ohio. By the way, more info on James breaking that pinky as this one is hit towards left field. And catch is made there by Dalton Kittner as Islas goes down with a flyout. We'll tell you more. He broke it, by the way, not playing baseball. More on that story when we return in the bottom of the fourth. 3-2 contest. Can Moses Lake turn the tables in the fourth and grab the lead? We'll try to do it with Jesse Williams and Lindgren in 60 seconds.
Are your kids rough on your furniture? Things looking a little run down? Then come to More Furniture in Ephrata and we can help get things back in order. We have all the top name brands made with strong quality support, including Sealy Posturepedic mattresses, because whatever you do in bed, Sealy supports it. The next time your furniture is in need of some replacing, stop into More Furniture in Ephrata, locally owned and trusted for over 100 years.
Bottom of the fourth, the stretch going on in the stands, and that's when the gentleman who, as we say in the Deep South, tote the levelers around the infield. don't know if that's acceptable lingo in the Northwest. Good look inside the River Dog dugout. Got to feel a little more comfortable in the dugout, down by 1 versus down by 3. And especially after that top part of the third where it really felt like things had become discombobulated for Moses Lake. And that's when Coach opted to take Peter Asfalm out. Not because he had particularly pitched poorly, because he really had not, but just a change of pace, a change of scenery, maybe trying to shake things up a little bit, had its impact. As Moses Lake plates a couple of runs in the bottom part of the third, and that discombobulation turns into refocus for Moses Lake, and we head to the bottom part of the fourth with just a run separating the two. Josh Jesse, who struck out in the second, will lead things off. Josh Williams, Dax Lindgren due up in the inning too. Of course, the bottom of the fourth is in as far as the shout-outs, so if you want to squeeze those in, you've got about an inning, or actually less than, about a half inning to do just that. Justin and James Graham, by the way, the shout-out went to them. James breaking his pinky yesterday, did it playing football. Now has 4 weeks until they can pitch. So I guess a little extra kill time recreation. Injured the finger, and now James Graham's got to sit a while. It is hit right at Vasquez, and then he tried to play it on the short hop, and it took a big hop. Looked like he was preparing for the short one, and instead it got rather large and hopped over the shoulder. Let's take a look again. Yeah, he was anticipating just a smaller hop. Well, that is officially scored as a base hit. And it's got Jesse on to begin the fourth, tying run aboard for Moses Lake. It will be the 8th hit of the ball game for the Moses Lake squad, and Josh Williams coming to the plate with the base runner on. Out of the strike zone, 1-0. A single in the second for Williams, and then he was caught stealing second. So let's see if Moses Lake can bring the runner in here in the fourth and tie this one up. Tosser too tall, 2-0 to Williams. Top of the fourth, 4 go to the plate, a 2-out single. Got Ortiz on. He was stranded though as Islas flies out to left field. Nobody scores in the top part of the inning, leaving the door open for this Moses Lake squad to knot this one up. Leadoff single by Jesse. He is over at first. As the count goes to 2-1 on Josh Williams, Dax Lindgren moves to the on-deck circle. Out of the zone again, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Jesse with his lead over at first. And the Ryberg pitch. It will put the base runner aboard. A couple of base runners on, and that may do it for Ryberg. I see Coach coming out of the dugout. Ryberg struggled in the third and getting a little wild here in inning number 4. Well, and that one hit him, but I guess the question is, did it hit the bat versus the planer? Let's see if we can pick up where the ball wound up. Did it get part of the barrel? Might have. I mean, it looked like it possibly could have caught. Let's see if we get a better look here. Well, it looks like it did get the bat, but maybe after the fact, after it popped the hitter. So Williams will go down to first as a hit batsman. Meanwhile, in second is Jesse. Dax Lindgren steps in and punts foul. Dax Lindgren, who wrapped into the 3-1, was the last out in the second inning, trying to get base runners over with a little small ball, 0-1. Let's see if, yep, the bunt is in order again for Lindgren. And Perez can't get to it. Ryburn trying to get it on the rebound. Nobody to throw to, and the base is full. And again, it happened in the third with the bases loaded. It happens here in the fourth. That will be charged as an error to Perez. Jesse will go to third. Williams at second. Lindgren, the base runner, at first. And here comes Coach to more than likely get Ryburn. 61 pitches for Ryberg. He has given up a total of 5 hits. And let's see if Ryberg goes or stays. The conversation continuing on the hill. Ryberg got a visit an inning ago. After the visit, seemed to settle down a bit. Let's see if a visit is all that Ryberg has here in the fourth, or if Ryberg will go. Here comes Greg Chenard to the hill to break things up, get baseball back underway. We are an hour 25 in and in the fourth. Well, we knew we had abbreviated games for 6 games in a row, and we knew one of these games would break the trend and balance things out. Well, here it is, the game that has broken the trend. We're only in the fourth, and we're 90 minutes in. Well, Ryberg stays. Bases loaded, nobody gone. Lindgren at first, Williams the base runner in second. Jesse is at third. Dalton Kintner, who's already got a single, steps in. Thrown to third, and Jesse safely on the bag. A.J. Praneda has moved to the on-deck circle. Here's the toss to Kintner. Into the strike zone, 0-1. Jesse got on with a single, now at third. Williams hit by a pitch, now at second. Lindgren reaches on an error and is over at first. And Moses Lake trying to take their first lead of the game here in the bottom part of the fourth. Low and inside. Well, you got to believe that Ryberg's got to get Kintner if he walks him. You would think Coach is out to get him. Shout out says good luck to Marco and Nano Vazquez. Let's get this W from TOB and surprise Arizona. From Arizona, good luck. I love you, Wrigley, from your girlfriend. Two balls, one strike, base is full, nobody gone, bottom of the fourth. Into left field, that's a base hit. Jesse will come in and score. Meanwhile, baseball left behind, and Williams will follow. So it is a Kintner single that drives in Jesse. It is a drop in left field by Wrigley McGuire that brings in Williams. And a couple of runs will plate. Moses Lake will take their first lead of the contest. You know, some games you can't explain it, they just have an odd feel. And this is one of those odd feeling games. And I don't know that you can put a finger on the exact variable that makes it odd, but just the culmination and combination of things, bunt and foul. I mean, you go back to the top of the third where you had Moses Lake and some problem spots. And here you are in the bottom of the fourth, and it's Pro Hammer struggling a bit. A.J. Praneda with a couple of base runners on. In a 4-3 game, Moses Lake with the lead. Emmett Tatum to the on-deck circle. Perez charging in from first. Showing bunt was Praneda. And Perez so close that, boy, he can almost reach out and touch the bat. He's getting within 10 or 15 feet of the plate. Count even, one each. Praneda already with a single and a run scored that happened an inning ago. Outside of the strike zone, 2-1. Ryberg has given up a base hit to Jesse, hit Williams. Lindgren reached on the error and gave up a single to Kittner. And now facing Praneda. Wrap back to Ryberg, looks to third, nothing there, over to first. Got it there in time, and the sacrifice by Praneda will get Lindbergh and Kittner into scoring position. There's one away. Ryberg looked just about everywhere before deciding that first was the place for the out. One away, we get back to the top of the order. Emmett Tatum coming to the plate. Tatum has singled twice in the first and third innings, has a couple of base runners on, would love to lay down a base hit here and widen the gap between the home team and the visiting squad here in the bottom of the fourth. I just thought of, too, maybe one of the factors that makes it feel like an odd game is it does feel like all pitchers are just really laboring on the hill. Asfalm is the starter for Moses Lake. Praneda not quite as much for Moses Lake after relieving Asfalm, and Ryberg struggling as well. Count even, one each. Well, I see we're getting new followers on Twitter. We reserve the sixth inning to recognize all those who follow us on Twitter. At least those who do it during the course of this contest. Count even, one apiece. Outside, 2-1. Pro Hammer from Tucson, Arizona. River Dogs from just up the road in Moses Lake. Short drive in the comfort of home for one. Long drive and staying in a different, unusual for them environment under Ryberg's mitt. Vasquez comes up with the field at short. Goes over to first. Will get the out of Tatum. For the Tatum out, 6-3 will bring in Lindgren. Kittner goes to third. 2 outs now in the fourth. And Cody Alvarado coming to the plate. By the way, not just baseball you get here on JockJive.com. If you are a sports junkie 24/7, we've got it for you. Whether it's live or archived, it's on Jock Jive. Yep, baseball during the course of the summer. Tossed in a little softball as well. But when you get to the latter part of August, it's to the fall sports. Volleyball, football, soccer. We'll bring you Georgia Military College football. Got some SWAC for you this year as well. SWAC soccer and volleyball. Got some ACCC volleyball too. Big cut, no contact from Alvarado. So if you like your sports any time of the day or night, we've got it for you. May not be live any time of the day or night, but I can guarantee you'll find some sports on Jock Jive. Into center field, that is a Cody Alvarado base hit that brings in Kittner. And the Alvarado single makes it a 6-3 Moses Lake lead. Alvarado, the base runner at first. Dominique Signorelli coming to the plate. '76. Addison Ryberg pitches now, which means with that 76th toss, The rest has got to be a couple of days for Addison Ryberg, so if there was any thought of potentially bringing him back to the mound to pitch and pool play, it won't happen because of the 2-day rest requirement. Alvarado's got his lead over at first. Dominic Signorelli, who has struck out and doubled. The double drove in a couple of runs, batting here in the bottom of the 4th. It has turned into a pleasant evening here in Ephrata as the sun begins to set. Cloud coverage keeps it rather cool. Hi, Cooper. Hope you have a great game today. This is your Aunt Karina saying love you. Alvarado getting his lead over at first. Signorelli steps in, drives it over towards Perez. Perez plenty of time despite the slight bobble to get his foot on the bag ahead of the arrival of Signorelli. That put out puts an end to the inning, but it was a productive inning. A total of 4 runs will plate, and the lead, which initially belonged to Tucson, now the possession of Moses Lake. 6-3 as we go to the 5th on JockJive.com.
On the Train test range, you learn what makes our heating and cooling systems so reliable. If there's a breaking point, we'll find it. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard. Train, the most reliable for a reason.
Just about all white. Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. A 4-1 bottom of the 4th gives Moses Lake the lead as we head to the top of the 5th. Bottom of the order for Tucson, Arizona. Addison Ryberg coming to the plate first. It has been a 10-hit attack for Moses Lake. And the bulk of the 10 hits started in the 2nd inning. It was a relatively quiet first. It's the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th that has produced the hits. And specifically the 3rd and 4th that has produced the runs for Moses Lake. Peter Asfalm off the hook for Moses Lake. He left the mound down by 3. He now will not be charged with a loss. As your pitchers of record are Addison Ryberg for Tucson and now A.J. Praneta for Moses Lake. Into the strike zone to Ryberg. Ryberg with his 2nd at bat. He wrapped into the 4-3 in the 3rd. Popped up. Let's see if this is retrievable. It appears so for Signorelli, who makes the catch near 3rd, 1 away. Back to the top of the order we go. DeMarco Vasquez coming to the plate. Wrigley McGuire to the on-deck circle. Well, you see it back on your screen now. We're out of the 3rd and 4th when we take your text shout-outs. And what's on your screen is hashtag Babe Ruth WS. That's where you can go to find all the big plays in the game. On social media, Facebook, Twitter, put that in the search engine. Wrap towards 2nd. Tatum will wind up getting it to 1st ahead of the arrival of Vasquez. 2 gone. Two away for Wrigley McGuire. McGuire with a single in the 1st. He struck out, but it was a drop strike 3 in the 3rd. He eventually came in and scored. Batting here in the 5th, Keegan Graff moves to the on-deck circle. Bottom part of the 5th, McLean, Juarez, and Jesse all headed to the plate for Moses Lake. On the outside part of the plate for strike 1 to McGuire. Here's Praneta pitch. into the dirt outside. You know, we talk about the fact that Asfalm got to be pleased with the fact that he is no longer the pitcher of record. He's really happy about this comeback. I'll tell you, the other guy that's got to be pretty pleased as that pitch is in tight is the guy behind the plate, Josh Jesse. He had kind of a rough third inning. And that toss that wound up in the chalk and allowed a base runner, Vasquez, to get from first to third. And a throwing error into center field. But he may be just as happy as Asfalm that things have certainly turned around. 3-1 pitch count now on McGuire. Okay, everybody has them. Used to be an old John Denver song about some days are diamonds and some days are stones. Some days it's happening, some days it's not. Some innings it works. Some innings it doesn't. And Moses Lake certainly has gone to work after the third. Pitches high. And McGuire giving the walk, a 2-out walk. Puts a pro hammer on. Two gone for Keegan Graff. Adrian Madero moving to the on-deck circle. Graff had a sac fly in the first that drove in Vasquez. Then he hit into a 1-2 put out with the bases loaded in the third. 0 for 1 overall with an RBI. 6-3 Moses Lake lead here in the visitor half of the fifth. High fly ball, but it's on the infield. Signorelli camped out underneath, makes the catch. Left on is McGuire. 4 go up, 3 go down, 1 left aboard. The lead still 3, and it still belongs to Moses Lake. As we go to the Moses Lake fifth on JockJive.com.
Golfers, challenge yourself this season at Gamble Sands in Brewster, Washington, just 33 miles from Lake Chelan. Hi, Kevin Calabro here. You know, every Gamble Sands round is a fabulous bucket list experience. Gamble Sands was designed by David McClay Kidd, author of The Bandon Dunes. Go to GambleSands.com and take a look at this place. You'll see why Golf Digest and Golf Magazine recognize Gamble Sands as the best new course of 2014. Certainly is mine. Make your tee times now at GambleSands.com.
We enter the bottom of the fifth. Evan McLean starting things off for Moses Lake. Caleb Morez, Josh Jesse due up in the inning two. A 6-3 advantage. 1 run scores in the first, second, and third from Tucson, Arizona. Quiet in the fourth and fifth. Meanwhile, nothing in the first or second, but 6 runs in innings 3 and 4. 2 in the third and 4 runs in the fourth for Moses Lake. And the day finished for Addison Ryberg. Got a new pitcher on the hill for Tucson, Arizona. That is Adrian Madero, the EP, who, well, I know the E stood for extra and the P for player, but now you can turn it into a pitcher, extra pitcher. He will toss for Addison Ryberg. Let's see if we can get you some Ryberg numbers. He will work a total of 4 innings. And in those 4 innings, faced 19. Strikeouts, you got 1, 2, 3 total. And in the walk department, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman. He will give up a total of 10 hits and 6 runs before departing. So those are your Addison Ryberg numbers And now you've got the new pitcher, the former hitter, but now he's got an additional duty, Adrian Madero. Some other defensive changes as well. We'll try to get to those in a moment. I know you've got a new right fielder. And we'll find out who gets all the info in regards to the changes made. I believe that is Jesse Carmona, who is now in right field. So Jesse Carmona in right. Let's get the defense set for you. Same infield. You got Perez at first, Ortiz at second. Vasquez is the shortstop, and Islas at third. Meanwhile, still behind the plate is Graff. It is the pitcher in the outfield that's changed up a little bit. Still got McGuire over in left, but now you've got Carmona in right field. And you've got Madero on the hill. 1 ball, couple of strikes. Evan McLean starting off the bottom of the 5th. Caleb Juarez, Josh Jesse due up in the inning 2. And a nice start to this one for Adrian Madero on the hill as he fans McLean for out number 1. 1 away, Caleb Juarez coming to the plate. And if you are Madero, there's the way you want to start a game. Delivering on the outside part of the plate, rings up McLean. Caleb Juarez next. Juarez 1 for 2 with a single, a fly out, a stolen base. Outside with the pitch to Juarez. 6th inning for Tucson, Arizona starts at the 4 spot. And interestingly, or ironically, whichever you prefer, it's the guy doing the balls and strikes currently, tossing them from the mound to the plate, who will lead things off for Tucson, Arizona in the 6th, Adrian Madero. John Dorman and Danny Perez due up in the inning 2. 2-1 offering to Caleb Juarez. Out of the strike zone, 3-1. 1 more game to go, and that will be the matchup between Ephrata and Southeast. Slated for an 8 o'clock start. Popped up in the direction of right. And Carmona not able to make the catch. I'm wondering if it was Carmona not able to make the catch because Ortiz was nearby, or whether he just couldn't get there. Let's see if we can pick it up on the other side of the pole. And Carmona just could not get there in time to make the catch, and that allows Juarez to get on with a single. It is the 11th base hit of the ball game for Moses Lake. Here's a guy that's got one of the 10 others. Josh Jesse had a single and scored a run in the 4th. He struck out in the 2nd, 1 for 2. Launches this one into foul territory. Here's another look. Well, we get the tail end of it, but that was that look in right field where both Ortiz and Carmona were going for that fly ball from Juarez. And there is Juarez as Madero gives him a look. Big thank you to the Borovs, by the way, hosting the World Series here. I haven't mentioned it today, I don't guess, but it's certainly something worthy of mentioning per game, and certainly per day. The camera decks at first and third, the camera platform in center field that allows you that shot. The stay at the Ephrata Inn. The sub sandwiches were fixed up. Count even 1 apiece on Jesse. Josh Williams is on deck. 1 away here in the bottom part of the 5th in what will become the longest game of the World Series. I think our previous longest game, 2:10. This one's at 1:48, and unless something changes drastically, 2:10 is going to be shot down. 2-1 on Jesse. Right-hander awaits. Madero with a glance over to the first base where Juarez is drifting off the bag. Out of the strike zone, 3-1. Well, I wonder where our sign crew is. 1 year ago when we were here, signs began to dot the area where the fans are. Haven't had that here. There is a walk issued to Jesse, and now a couple of base runners on. Two aboard for Josh Williams. Of course, the World Series still young. So the possibility or the probabilities that some creativity in the use of our center field camera could become something the fans do a little bit later on. Josh Williams, a single in the second, got caught stealing second, reached on an error in the fourth, actually reached on a hit batsman in the fourth, and then advanced. Compliments of an error. Dax Lindgren moving to the on-deck circle. Montero with a look to base runners and will deliver out of the strike zone. Montero, Dorland, and Perez, the 4, 5, and 6 spots due up when you get to the 6th for Tucson. And in the 6th, by the way, when we recognize the brand new followers on Twitter. So if you follow us in the 6th inning, here's how we show our appreciation. We send out your Twitter handle. So if you're going to and you thought, okay, I'm reaching for the mouse, we'll click, we'll follow. Hold up. Do it in the 6th and we'll send out a little Twitter love. Count even, one each. Got the inside part of the plate, 1 and 2. All teams vying for the right to get to Thursday's play when the second place National Division team takes on the third place American Division squad. And the second place American team takes on the third place National. Teams that are number 1 in each division get a bye. That one is socked into center field. Josh Williams driving in Juarez. Going to third is Jesse. At second with a double is Williams. A Josh Williams RBI double has a couple of base runners in scoring position. Juarez will come in and score, and the lead goes to 4. Dax Lindgren, who reached on an error in the 4th, comes to the plate. Montero with a visit from Perez first, though. A loss here by Tucson would put them 0-2 in pool play, and already on the bubble with a couple of games to go. A victory for Moses Lake keeps them in the thick of things at 1-1, but Tucson, Arizona going, don't write us off yet. Still got a couple of innings baseball left. Strike 1 to Dax Lindgren. Dalton Kittner is on deck. One year from now, the age group of 16 to 18-year-olds in Babe Ruth will go to a completely different part of the country to play their baseball in Jamestown, New York. Currently, it's up for bids as to who will host in 2019. Swing and a miss. And Lindgren will go down for out number 2. Not sure of all the spots that are thinking about bidding for 2019, but I do know, I'll just go this far and no further, that there is a southern spot that's looking to potentially host and at least put a bid in for that 2019 series. Ortiz makes the catch at second. Out will go Dalton Kittner. A couple of base runners left on, but another one will come in and score, and the lead grows by another run. It is a 4-run advantage, 7-3 Moses Lake. We head to the 6th. 4, 5, and 6 spots due up for Pro Hammer on JockJive.com.
With today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at iFiber.tv.
Cheryl Konos Farmers Insurance is your local one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, and farm and ranch, Cheryl and Farmers are here for you. You never know when the unexpected will happen, so be ready for anything. She'll work for you to put together a package that fits your needs no matter how big or small. She's right here in Ephrata, so you can talk to her at any time. Please stop by for a free quote at 858 Basin Street Southwest or call 509-754-2550. Good luck to all the players and teams.
Keeping up with today's fast-paced world can be difficult. Accelerate your life with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Surf, stream, and game like never before. Give us a call at 509-754-2600 and find out more at
$30, $16 to $40. If you need to have a quick commuter, will be a slight additional cost. Also,
top of the 6th, Adrian Madero will come to the plate first. John Torman and Danny Perez due up in the inning 2. Well, here's the spot where we recognize the brand new followers on Twitter. And you will go to Twitter, put @JockJive in the search engine, @JockJive. And if you follow us in the 6th inning, we're going to recognize you. It's our way of sending out a little love, a little appreciation for the fact that you're following us on Twitter. And by the way, we do have a goal where Twitter is concerned too. I mean, hey, what's life without goals? 1,000 followers on Twitter. We wanted to be at the end of the week at 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We're there. 1,000 followers on Twitter. We're close. And 10,000 likes on Facebook, but we're going to modify that and shoot for about 10.5 or so, because we're right about 70 away, maybe a little less than 70 away from 10 grand. But if you will follow us on Twitter in the 6th, we will acknowledge you and send out that Twitter handle as Madero takes a couple of pitches, one outside of the strike zone, the other inside. Well, I'm looking at new followers, and since we last acknowledged followers, I see 6. So in the event it's in this game, @Squidster8, @Squidster8, following us on Twitter. Thank you very much. @Ashley Vipe, Ashley VYPE, Ashley Vipe, now following us. @Aaron Cook 2, Aaron KOCH2. Thank you very much for following us on Twitter. Pop tie into the air by Madero. Over into foul territory goes Lindgren, and Madero is out number 1. 1 away, John Dorman next. @Kelly_Duhon. @Kelly, KELLIE _DUHON. @Kelly_Duhon. @RProto14. I recognize the face. Ryan Proto had the triple, the bases clearing triple in the preceding game. Now following us on Twitter. Thank you very much. @RProto14. 0-1 on John Dorman. 1 away, nobody aboard. The tornado pitch outside of the strike zone. @Lori Marion. @Lori Marion. That is LORIMARION. Thank you very much for following us. Sent into center field and sent right to Evan McClain. John Dorman out number 2. @Katie_Donovan8. Now following us @Katie, CATIE, Katie_Donovan8. Did I say CA? It's KA. KATIE, Katie@Donovan8. Following us on Twitter. @_Elena34. ELENA _ Elena 34 following us on Twitter. Thank you very much. Do it here in the 6th, and that's how we honor you, recognize you. How about another? Do it by sending it to @JockJive on Twitter. And we'll do it all 6th inning long. 0-2 on Danny Perez. Perez 1 for 2. He's singled. He's ground out to first. When you get to the bottom of the 6th, bottom of the order coming to the plate, A.J. Pineda, and then back to the top of the order, Emmett Tatum, Cody Alvarado for the Moses Lake squad, who will try to tack on enough insurance to make sure there's no bottom part of the inning. Perez does it again with a single into center field. McLean tried to get it over to get Perez out on the 8-3, but Perez able to kick it in, and you see the grimace of the kick. Perez definitely does not want to be thrown out by a fielder. That's pretty close. Pitch hitter coming in for Perez. Perez will go to the dugout. And I believe that is Nano Vasquez, who is now running over at first. When he turns the back and we can see the jerseys, we'll know for certain. @Cole _ Scherertz, COLE _ SHERERTZ. Thank you very much, Cole. @DMET 2381, DMETT 2381, following us on Twitter. Thanks so much. All 6th inning long. Follow us. We recognize you. Vasquez, the base runner, after the Danny Perez base hit. That is hit number 6 for Tucson, Arizona. Sean Fanning at the plate. Fanning is hit into a double play, and he has struck out. Lifted towards first. And there to make the catch is Dax Lindgren. So Fanning will fly out, and we will get to more of those brand new followers on Twitter when we head to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 6th inning only feature. So quickly follow us @JockJive on Twitter.
Come along now, join the fun in beautiful Grant County, Washington. Our lakes just can't be beat, our friends you'll love to meet in beautiful Grant County, Washington.
Call 800-992-6234 or tourgrantcounty.com. Brought to you by the Grant County Tourism Commission.
Right here in the Columbia Basin, located in Moses Lake, we've got a locally owned, operated car rental agency with a great selection of late model clean cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. They do direct billing to insurance companies when that unexpected accident happens and your car is laid up for that little moment. They're open 6 days a week with a new building and new location. 15 years of service to the Columbia Basin. Advance Rent-A-Car. Call them today, 765-39...
Bottom of the 6th, bottom of the order. A.J. Pineda steps in to lead things off for Moses Lake. Emmett Tatum, Cody Alvarado, 2 up in the inning, 2. Again, 6th inning is the only inning in which we acknowledge those brand new followers on Twitter. So do it. We'll thank you, and we'll recognize you, like this one, @Isaiah Parker _20. @Isaiah Parker _20. Thanks so much. @Eli _D1 bound 55. Eli _D1 bound 55. Line right at Vasquez. And Pineda is out number 1. Back to the top of the order we go. Emmett Tatum coming to the plate. This Moses Lake squad has out-hit the Tucson, Arizona team 2-1. 12 hits to 6. 7-3 contest, one away. Emmett Tatum responsible for a couple of those base hits. Nice catch at first. The replacement for Danny Perez over at first is John Dormanen, and he makes a nice catch for 2 quick outs. Well, it brings to mind the fact that hashtag Babe Ruth WS is where you go to find the big plays for the day, whether on Facebook or Twitter. Then that's exactly what you need to do to be able to find those big plays. Really the highlights of the day and the games all condensed into those little 7, 8, 9-second clips. Another follower on Twitter at Lubricant Expert. At Lubricant Expert. Thank you very much for following us. And if you do it again in the 6th inning, we acknowledge it. 0-2 now on Cody Alvarado. So if you are going to follow us on Twitter in the 6th and get recognized, you got about a strike to go. 0-2 on Cody Alvarado. Alvarado wrapped into the 1-3 in the first, struck out in the 3rd, singled in a run in the 4th. He is 1 for 3. Tucson will try to rally with the bottom part of their order due up in the top of the 7th. A Tucson squad that put runs on the board in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, but have been quiet since. Right back to Madero, and the 1-3 put out of Alvarado makes quick work of the 6th inning. We head to the top of the 7th. 7-3, the lead belongs to Moses Lake. Tucson, Arizona with rally plans in the top part of the 7th.
Hi, I'm a kid, and I am here to tell you why fruit is good for you. It is healthy for your muscles, your brain, your eyes, your heart, and your body. I've been sitting behind this big tray of fruit, and it looks so good, and it smells so good, and I haven't gotten one piece.
When your sport team has a great game or season, come celebrate your team's hard work at Lake Bowl in Moses Lake. Our Redemption Center game room is loaded with fun. Lake Bowl wants to help you recognize your team's accomplishments with fun and affordable packages. Bring your team in to eat, play, and have some fun. Team celebrations are a blast at Lake Bowl. Give us a call or visit our website for more information. Lake Bowl, Moses Lake's family entertainment center.
2 hours, 7 minutes of baseball as we head into the top part of the 7th. Bottom part of the order, Tucson, Arizona will try to turn the rally caps around and get Brandon Ortiz, Mark Islas, and Addison Ryberg coming to the plate and rallying the squad late. Meanwhile, Moses Lake trying to pick up their first victory in pool play. Thanks again to all those who followed us on Twitter in the 6th inning. We'll do it again in the 6th inning of the game to come, the nightcap. Let me give you a Facebook update, too. 61 away from 10,000. So why don't we work on that in the 7th? 61 likes gets us to 10 grand. Trying to get there by the end of the day. As I mentioned, just kind of a personal thing. I want the 6 guys working in Alabama when they go to work tomorrow to know that you folks watching coverage here are responsible. And of course, you got to go to Facebook and put Jock Jive Sports in the search engine. Now, if you want to like Babe Ruth baseball, that's great too. But we want you to like Jock Jive Sports as well. So you can like them, you can like us. They're close. They're like at 93. We're at 99.39. And need 61 if my limited math skills are correct. Brandon Ortiz with a couple of singles, 2 for 2. Singled and got aboard in the second, scored a run, singled and got on and stranded at first in the fourth. Three pitches outside of the strike zone from Praneta. That one too, and the leadoff guy on. So this Pro Hammer don't count us out yet. Pacific Southwest Regional champs have a base runner aboard here in the top of the seventh as Mark Islas comes to the plate. It has been a game of streaks, 3 straight from Tucson and then 7 in a row from Moses Lake. Really none of this back and forth stuff. Just 3 runs for Tucson, Arizona, 7 runs for Moses Lake. Islas with an RBI single in the second. He popped out to left field in the fourth, 1 for 2 in the game. Count goes even at 2, or 1 rather, 1 apiece. By the way, you want to watch the game again and again and again? Well, again, just like the live coverage has multiple venues in which you can do so, same is true for the archive version of the game. That is lofted towards the gap. It will hit and roll for Islas. To get over and cut it off is Josh Williams. But Islas tried to turn 1 into 2. Got thrown out at second. Josh Williams is only, wow, that's not even close. And then kind of an awkward slide in from Islas. But Josh Williams has only shown us several times in the game that he's got a great arm. I mean, we saw him throw out a runner at first base from right field. And now he gets it in to gun down Islas. Ortiz will go to third. So Islas credited with the base hit, but his preference would have been to be aboard. Instead, tagged out at second for out number 1. Jesse Carmona getting an at-bat here in the 7th. Batting in the spot previously occupied by Addison Ryberg. Ryberg went 0 for 2 with a ground out to second and a fly out to third. Carmona, little half swing towards short. Fielded by Alvarado. He will go to first, get the out. The run comes in though, but it's a 3-run game with 2 gone. So Carmona credited with the RBI as he will bring in Ortiz. But there's 2 away as we go back to the top of the order, and DeMarco Vasquez comes to the plate. Quick update on our drive to 10,000. We are 59 short. And got a new follower on Twitter at Matty_Zachary. At Matty_Zachary. Thank you very much for following us. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, do that, 8 o'clock. About 45 minutes from now, final game of the day. It is Ephrata taking on Surrey County, North Carolina. Both teams 0-1 after their opening game of play. 2-0 on Vasquez. 3-0 now. That is the 65th pitch from A.J. Praneta. Vasquez with a single and a run scored in the first. Walked and got to third in the third. Wrapped into a 4-3 in the fifth. He is 1 for 2. By the way, there are benefits, not just about getting higher numbers for us, and we thank you for that, but Twitter, Facebook, we get you updated on score schedules and more. If there are weather delays like there has been in Alabama, you know about it. If play is to resume like it will tomorrow in Alabama, you find that out too. If things change here as far as delays or issues that create reasons to postpone a game or postpone play, then you find out about that all by following us on Twitter liking us on Facebook. Looks like Praneda will not finish the game. He's going to trot out to center field. And I think Coach called for Dalton Kittner out of left field to come to the bump. We'll find out if that is true when we come back.
Since 1969, DK's Drive-In has been Ephrata's favorite spot for burgers, fries, sweet treats, and everything else in between. We are proud to continue the DK's tradition of serving our community with delicious food made to order. Come on in or swing through the drive-thru and see why DK's has been a staple of Ephrata for generations. DK's Drive-In at 805 Basin Street Northwest in Ephrata.
Lakeview Golf and Country Club. They're looking for new members, and now's the time to join. There's no initiation fee, and it's $175 a month. A great course, great people, and a professional that has instruction available. His name? Matt Campbell. Along with a good junior program, driving range and restaurant are available to the public. Come and try the good food with Amy Galloway and her staff, open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. Great course, great people at the Lakeview Golf and
Indeed, it is Dalton Kittner who has come in from left field to relieve A.J. Praneda, who works 4 1/3 innings, faces 19. 1 strikeout. By the way, Praneda will not go to center field. He will trot over to left, so it's a straight swap. There is your line score. 7-4 contest. 12-7. Moses Lake leading Tucson in the hit department, and where you don't want the bigger number, you got it if you're Tucson. 2-1 errors over Moses Lake. Wrigley McGuire coming to the plate with Vasquez, the base runner, at first. Tucson, Arizona trying to pull off the improbable. It's not the impossible. Admittedly tough to overcome a 3-run advantage with 2 gone and a base runner aboard, but it's been done before. And Pro Hammer saying we're just the team to do it again. Fouled out of play, nothing in 1 on McGuire. McGuire with a single, a strikeout, and a walk. 1 for 2 with a run scored. Keegan Graff is on deck hoping for a chance in the 7th. By the way, as a side note, game has become the longest game of the World Series at 2 hours and 16 minutes. Runner goes, throw down, not in time. Vasquez, who's got great speed, at second. Base runner in scoring position, Vasquez. McGuire trying to drive in the 5th run of the contest. Meanwhile, Moses Lake, they want no part of a bottom part of the inning. Scooped up by Kittner. He will go over to first, get McGuire on the 1-3 put out. That will put it into the ball game. 1 run in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 7th innings for Tucson, Arizona. Couple of runs in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and a run in the 5th for Moses Lake. Moses Lake now 1-1 in pool play. Tucson, Arizona now with their back against the wall. They cannot afford another loss as they've gone to 0-2 in pool competition. Ephrata and Southeast, that is the host, and Surrey County playing the nightcap on game number, or make that day number 2 of your Babe Ruth World Series. That's coming your way roughly 42 minutes from now if we stay on schedule. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Thanks for the shout-outs, the likes, and the follows. James Crenshaw has been your producer. I'm Robert Williamson. So long for JockJive.com.
Player of the Game Award, which is named after the David late president and CEO who committed to making use of underpass and the primary objective that every child has the opportunity to play this great game. The Ron Pelton Player of the Game Award, first for Pro Hunter Baseball, goes to number 34, Danny Perez. And your Ron Pelton Player of the Game for the Moses Lake River Dogs, number 21, A.J. Correa. Congratulations to both players. All right, we're about 41 minutes away now. We're hoping we can get to it. Away from game number 8 of the tournament, number 4 of the day, it will feature the Surrey County, North Carolina Mudcats, your Southeast Regional champions against your host team, the 2017 Columbia Basin River Dogs. That will get started around 8 o'clock this evening. Tucson, you are back in action at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon right here. You will be taking on primetime baseball of Vancouver, Washington. The Pacific Southwest, the Pacific Northwest for Pacific Coast supremacy, I guess. That is going against 2 o'clock tomorrow, Vancouver against Tucson. Moses Lake, you are back in action immediately following at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. You'll be taking on Blue Ridge, Kentucky, the Ohio Valley Regional Champion. That is going to start at 5 o'clock. So now, 40 minutes away, or as close as we can get to it, to the final game of the day here, game number 2 of the World Series. Surrey County, North Carolina, Columbia Basin, Washington. Real quickly, Greco sitting early. When you get a second, could you sneak up there? People want to know what you're thinking. Greco? Somebody tap him on the shoulder and ask him to come up when he gets a minute. Thank you, guys.
Says that